Hello and welcome back. So, Russia has cut gas supplies to Europe. The question is, what happens now? Let's explore. So, first, let's understand what has happened actually. Russia has reduced gas supplies to European Union countries. So European Union countries has been heavily dependent on Russia for its gas supplies. Before the war, almost 40% of gas supplies 40% of gas supplies of European Union countries used to come from Russia. That's a huge number. Okay, so now Russia has reduced that gas supply to European Union countries. Some of these countries include Germany, Austria, Czech Republic, Italy, and Slovenia. These are some of the countries where Russia has reduced gas supplies, and there are many more European countries where Russia has already taken this step. Now, Russian giant Gazprom, this is the company, it's a state-owned company that has cut gas supplies by 60%, by 60%. So the gas supply through the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, which runs between Baltic Sea from Russia to Germany, this pipeline, gas supply through this pipeline has been cut by 60%. That's a tremendously huge number. Now the question is why these reductions are a concern. Why are these concerns? So I've already told you that before the war, Union countries used to get 40% of its gas supplies from Russia. Now this move has triggered concern that Russia may completely shut off gas supplies to Europe. Russia may completely shut off gas supplies to Europe. If that happens, Europe is going to be in serious trouble. And I'll tell you what these troubles are in a very short while. Now, you see, natural gas is used by several energy-intensive industries. Okay, like glass makers, steel manufacturing is heavily used. Now, because of this cut in gas supplies, obviously these industries will slow down, which will trigger inflation in Europe. Also, Europe is going to face severe electricity crisis as a result of this reduction in gas supplies from Russia. That is the reason why these reductions are a concern for Europe and the entire European Union. Now, the question is, what is Europe and European Union doing about this situation? So you see, the European Union, when the war had hit out, they had already planned to cut imports by two-thirds by the end of this year. By the end of this year means 2022, and to gradually phase out Russian gas supply by 2027. So when the war had broken out, European Union had already done this. But obviously they cannot do it overnight. They need time. And as a result of this, they had decided to cut by two-thirds of the supply by 2022 and to completely phase out by 2027. And let me tell you, this is a very ambitious plan. European governments, what they have been doing as an alternative to cut gas supplies from Russia is that they have been bringing expensive LNG, liquefied natural gas, from United States. Okay, now you see United States and Europe. Okay, the way European Union can bring gas from United States is through ship. Okay, now this is a very expensive medium. The way Russia supplies gas to Europe is through pipeline. Okay, as a result of this, it's much cheaper for Europe to bring gas supplies from Russia. Okay, because it comes through pipeline. But when they bring it from United Nations, it comes through ship. And as a result of this, automatically the logistic cost increases tremendously, and this adds to inflation in Europe further. Okay, so obviously, given a choice, they would have bought from Russia. It's much more economical, but given the sanctions that they themselves have imposed on Russia, they just cannot do it, and so now they are bringing in gas from United States, which is much more expensive for them. Now, also there are efforts to get more pipeline gas from Norway and Azerbaijan. Okay, if they can get that, obviously it will be much more economical for Europe. But again, Norway and Azerbaijan has already said that they're already in full capacity and they cannot give more gas to Europe through pipelines. Okay. Now, this crisis, one of the worst impact is that this crisis is pushing Europe to get back to fossil fuels. Now, obviously, the push was to get away from fossil fuels and to get to renewable sources of energy, to get to natural gas. But again, because of this shortage, now Europe is gradually getting back to fossil fuels. Okay, so this is what Europe is trying to do. They're trying to get more gas from United States, from Norway and Azerbaijan, but again, that's not economical for them. Now the question is, why has Russia cut down on gas supplies to Europe? Why have they actually done that? Now the official reason that Russia is claiming or they have given out is that one of the key piece of equipment is stranded in Canada because of the Western sanctions. So there's a key piece of equipment that Russia needs to supply gas to Europe. That key piece of equipment is now in Canada for maintenance. They have sent it to Canada for maintenance, but now that is held. Why? Because of the Western sanctions. This is what Russia is claiming, but obviously Europe is not buying this argument. Europe think that this is very uh, a step from Russia to push back on the sanctions. What is happening is that, so I told you Gazprom is the company, the Russian state-owned company, which is supplying gas to Europe, and this is the company which has cut down the gas supply by 60%. Now, since the supply has been cut, automatically prices of natural gas have risen. This means Russia will get more money for by providing much lesser amount of gas, and this more amount of money will fund the war that they're fighting against Europe. Okay, so Europe is thinking this is one of the steps by Russia to earn more by limiting the supply of natural gas. Also, they are also considering that, and I told this means more revenue for Russia. This step is also being considered as a pushback against Western sanctions. Okay, so primarily two reasons what Europe is thinking, that one, to increase the revenue of Russia by cutting down on supply of natural gas. That's one, and the second one is it's a pushback against Western sanctions. It is a way for Russia to show that, you see, if you keep on giving us more sanctions, we can cut you off completely from natural gas, and you'll have to bear the brunt of it. Okay, so that's the reason why Russia has cut down on gas supplies to Europe. I hope you understood the impact of Russia's cutting down on gas supplies and why they have done it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe to this channel, support me in growing this channel and bringing you more such valuable content. Thank you so much. I'll see you again with another exciting video. Thank you so much. Take care.